If you want to make passive income on Etsy by selling digital products, then my suggestion is that you just do it. What are you waiting for? Well, let me guess. If you're here watching this video, you're considering selling digital products on Etsy, but you have some worries around it. What are those biggest fears? Drop them below in the comments so I can address them in a future video. But today I want to talk to you about 3 of the most common fears I see that hold people back from starting, and how and why you can remove them from your brain so that you can start the best side hustle today. So ready for the first one? The first is the fear that you won't sell anything. Okay, so you set up your shop, you list a printable, and crickets. You aren't getting any traffic or sales to your listings, and you sit there sulking that it's just not happening for you. Is this something you're worried about? If so, I can relate to this. It wasn't that long ago that I too hadn't started a shop, and I felt the nervousness of people not buying my stuff. And as someone who originally started out selling handmade items, the worry quickly changed from, is anyone gonna buy my stuff, to how am I gonna have time to make and ship all these orders with my full-time job? What you need is that proof. The first sale to get you over the hump, to help you realize that it's possible for you. I love to help my students who I teach to sell printables on Etsy to get that very first sale. It's amazing what can change once that happens. You start to gain confidence. You start to visualize what else is possible, and you start to take more action that leads to better results. Without that proof, you feel overwhelmed, doubtful, and hopeless. So for this first one, I do have a free guide for you that will help you to list your first printable and feel confident doing so. You can grab that over at atouchofla.com/checklist. But here's what I also want to let you know about this fear. If you're worried you won't sell anything, then the only thing at stake here is your pride. Because sure, maybe you'll waste an hour or so on your first digital item and getting your shop set up. Not much time at all, right? And you're only going to put 20 cents into your first digital listing on Etsy, since that's how much it costs to list an item. So we're not really talking about a large sum of money that you could lose either. The truth is, what we're all mainly worried about is how it will look to others if we don't make a sale. And I've just given you a resource to help you so that that doesn't happen. But if you do get stuck and you don't get a sale, then how exactly would it look? Would it look like you're someone who goes after their dreams and doesn't sit on the sidelines? We miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. And I think taking the shot and missing is way better than wondering what could have happened if you didn't take the shot at all. The next fear that I come across a lot is the fear of someone copying or stealing your work. Has this ever been you? As a digital seller, what's stopping others from taking the work that you made and then reselling it to others? Or just straight up copying someone else's work and using it as your own? I'll be completely honest with you. It's totally possible that people could try and do that. However, here's what I want to ask you. If it was so easy to sell things online, wouldn't everybody be doing it? And if one of your fears is already that you won't be able to make a sale, don't you think that it would be even harder to steal someone else's work and sell it? The truth is, it can happen. But that's one thing I just don't worry about. And the reason for that is that I have been at this Etsy game for a few years now. I know what it takes to grow a business and create a passive income machine. It's not for the get rich quick kind of people. And people who are looking to steal your work are those kinds of people. So sure, they could steal some things and try to make a quick buck, but they aren't going to stick it out and do the necessary work. So having this fear just isn't serving you. Let God, the universe, or whatever you believe, deal with those people who steal from you. The law of karma will kick in and you'll win in the end anyhow. The last fear I want you to remove from your brain is one that you might not think that you have, and that is the fear that you will be successful. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Lindsay, I don't have a fear of that. I want to be successful, and if I sell millions of digital downloads on Etsy, I am going to be super stoked. I know that objection, and I've had it. But then I realized that there's a lot of fears that I have about what happens once I'm successful. Fears like, how will I handle bookkeeping? What about taxes? Will I have enough time to continue to produce product? What about customers' questions and complaints? What if those are too much to handle? What if there's one I don't know how to answer? See how success means much more than just making money? Our brain does this because it wants to be prepared for anything bad that could lie ahead. And while this kind of conditioning served us in our primal days, it doesn't serve us now because it stops us from doing the very things we need to do to have success. In other words, we self-sabotage. So if you're running all these types of scenarios in your head that can happen after you're successful, then you do have a fear of success. You just might not have realized it before. And the underlying issue behind all of these fears is that there's a secondary gain, meaning you gain something from having these fears in the first place. What could you possibly gain? You gain the validation that it's okay not to move forward and to take action. Your brain resolves that it's much safer to stay exactly where you are, because if you move forward, something bad could happen. And so you do nothing and you decide that's okay because you've logically come to that conclusion. But it's a big trick. A trick to keep you small and safe. We can stay the same and safe forever, and nothing changes. We don't grow our business on Etsy and don't create another stream of income through digital products. Don't let your brain trick you. Leave these fears behind and get started right now. I can't wait to hear about your progress. Tell me what you think of this video below or share it with a friend, and I will see you in the next video.